Alright, as we know, the NBA offseason has lost its lately. Now, the former MVP, James Harden, is in trade rumors, along with his backcourt buddy in Russell Westbrook, who is also a former MVP. The Lakers just made a blockbuster move, in my opinion, which I kind of predicted in trading for Dennis Schroeder. The dude is underrated, averaged 20 points a game, borderline all-star if you ask me, key piece of that Thunder team. But let me not ramble too much. Some crazy stuff might go down in this offseason, and these James Harden trade rumors have been getting out of hand. And while I do think it's absolutely insane that someone like James Harden is in trade rumors, there's a lot of credibility to these rumors. Russell Westbrook wants out. The Rockets are pretty much falling apart. They just fired Mike D'Antoni. So since we know James Harden wants a trade, let's look at some realistic possibilities that might go down. Now, I know people are all like, oh, he's going to the Nets. Now, I went and saw what the Nets would actually have to give up for James Harden, and it would be pretty tricky for them to get a realistic trade off with the Rockets for James Harden. So I constructed some trades that I think are fair for James Harden around the league. So today we're going to be looking at 3 different trade possibilities that I think will work for James Harden. Now if y'all haven't scrolled down and like that video and subscribe, this video took me a while to make, probably 2 to 3 hours to finish and perfect, and it only takes you 1 or 2 seconds to go down there and just click the trackpad or the mouse. It'll help me grow my channel, and it'll mean a lot if you guys enjoy the video. Just go down there. I appreciate the support you guys have been showing on my off-season videos lately, and if you enjoy this video, you'll definitely like my last 2 videos I made about the Knicks off-season plans and the Warriors off-season plans and what might possibly could go down with those 2 teams. So after you're done watching this video, make sure to go over there and check those out. But without further ado, let's get into this James Harden trade video. Alright, I'm just going to warn you before we start. Constructing a trade for James Harden is difficult. Most of these trades are going to involve a shitload of draft picks, because that's going to be the reality of the situation if trading for James Harden. That's what happened with Paul George, so it's hard to imagine it won't be what happens with James Harden. So just know that going into this, but now let's get into the first trade that I have with the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis has been rumored to leave lately. I think there's a pretty good chance Giannis leaves in 2021 free agency. So if they don't want that to happen, they're going to need to make some sort of a win-now move. They can't keep the same roster that keeps losing over and over again. If they want Giannis to feel motivated to stay in Milwaukee, they're going to have to do something where they get another superstar to pair alongside him. So if I'm the Bucks, I'm giving up the whole house to get James Harden, who's someone who could pair next to Giannis and make a championship duo. The 2 former MVPs on the same roster. The trade I constructed is Giannis's good friend, Chris Middleton, and Donte DiVincenzo, 3 first-round picks and a second for James Harden. If the Rockets trade James Harden, they're most likely trading Russell Westbrook, and they're going to get a boatload of draft picks no matter what they do for both players. So this gives them a bright future, especially if things don't work out and Giannis decides to leave in free agency. And then the Bucks will be in a sticky situation, and those draft picks will be extremely valuable. You never know where these picks could land. Also getting an all-star in Chris Middleton, who isn't even on the same stratosphere as James Harden, but young players in Donte DiVincenzo can turn out to be very valuable for a team like the Rockets. The Rockets are building for the future with this trade and also getting an all-star in Chris Middleton. So getting that many first-round picks will most likely prove to pay off for this Bucks team. And let's not forget the value of Donte DiVincenzo in 23 minutes per game this year. This dude put up 9 points per game and shot pretty well from 3. He's shown a lot of potential, and he's one of the top young emerging guards in the league right now. Only 23 years old, this dude can build a very bright future in Houston. So tell me what you guys think about this trade in the comments down below. Alright, moving on to the second trade I have. This is with the Portland Trail Blazers. This is a similar situation. They have the second best point guard in the NBA in Damian Lillard, who I know said he's going to stay in Portland forever, but when the time comes, you're probably going to change your mind, Dame. That's what happened with Kyrie Irving. He started losing. He said, okay, I have an opportunity to get in a better situation, and that's what he took advantage of, and I'm afraid that might be what happens with Damian Lillard in the future. Giving up a lot of assets to pair the best backcourt duo in probably NBA history. CJ McCollum, Zach Collins, Gary Trent Jr., and 4 first-round picks for James Harden. This would be an impulse decision for the Trailblazers. They have been in the same situation for 4 to 5 years. CJ McCollum has been in trade rumors for a long time now because people are saying he's the odd man out, and he's the one they have to trade to get this Trailblazers team up to par. But if I'm the Rockets, I'm leaving here happy. You get a good player in CJ McCollum, who in a number 1 spot, he could be like a Bradley Beal, averaging about 30 points per game. Getting 2 valuable young pieces in Zach Collins and Gary Trent Jr. I know Zach Collins hasn't really hit his potential yet. He hasn't showed that much, but he's good in the interior and he still has some potential. And Gary Trent Jr., the bright spot, has shown a lot. At one point, he was playing up to goddamn 35 minutes a game for this team. But you guys have to remember that if you want someone like James Harden, you're going to have to give the house. It's inevitable. The Rockets aren't going to accept some stupid shit. In only 22 minutes played per game this year, this dude Gary Trent Jr. put up 9 points per game on an extremely impressive 42% from the three-point line. And in his rookie year, just take a guess of what he shot from the three. 23.8. I don't know how to do math to save my life, but I think that's an 18% increase in three-point percentage, which is damn near doubling his three-point percentage. This dude Gary Trent Jr. has had some obvious improvements, and going into a situation with the Rockets where he's going to have all the freedom in the world, this would be beneficial and this would be a great trade for them. You guys could say the Blazers are giving up a little bit too much, but to pair the arguable best point guard in the league with the best shooting guard in the league, you're going to have to give the house. CJ McCollum is going to evolve into a Bradley Beal type player if this trade goes down, trust me. He's had the talent, he's just played behind one of the best point guards in the league for his whole career. And he's been a borderline all-star every single year, so I can't wait to see CJ McCollum strive if something like this does indeed go down. So off to the final trade. Alright, your stress levels can tone down a little bit because this trade is a little bit more calm, a little bit more simple, and is one that's been rumored ever since this James Harden chaotic bullcrap has gone on. James Harden to the 76ers for Josh Richardson, Ben Simmons, and 2 first-round picks. I think this would be a terrible decision for the Philadelphia 76ers. The last thing I want to think about is James Harden and Joel Embiid in the same situation because this wouldn't fit or make any sort of sense. But that's just an opinion and it's not reality, and the reality is something like this may very well happen. The Sixers have been struggling for a while. They're in a terrible cap situation, so getting an arguable top 3 player in the NBA would make sense for this team. The Rockets are hitting that reset button, still getting a one-of-a-kind player in Ben Simmons who's still on the younger side. Look, I think it's almost inevitable that the Sixers are going to give up one of Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons sometime coming soon, so I think this makes a lot of sense. Josh Richardson is someone I had to throw in to make the cap match, but let's not forget how good he was in Miami 2 years ago. He just never really fit with the Philadelphia 76ers, but we've seen what he's capable of doing. In 73 games with the Heat 2 years ago, putting up 16.5 points per game, he's a scorer, and maybe he could turn out to be something of what he did with the Heat in 2018 with the Rockets. This would definitely be after a Russell Westbrook trade because they'd be getting Ben Simmons to replace him and then be getting Josh Richardson to fill into that shooting guard spot while getting 2 first-round picks, one of them in 2025, which is a while from now, but that might be a good thing because we have no idea where the Rockets will be then, and maybe they'll be in a very sticky situation, which could lead to a top 3 pick in the draft. You never know. But yeah, Ben Simmons' greatness isn't matched to James Harden's, but if they want to get younger and get draft assets, this would be a realistic decision for the Rockets. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for this video. Make sure to go do all those good things in the comments down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on those post notifications if you would like. But yeah, man, hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button would mean a lot because, you know, I'm a growing creator. I'm just trying to make you guys happy and inform you guys on the new stuff going on in the NBA. So make sure to leave a comment sharing your thoughts about any specific thing you heard in this video, and I'll make sure to respond. So I'll see you guys in the next one, and peace out.